Hi guys, I'm with you again, and in a previous video I've done a modification to this Cycle Radio and put a power antenna in it, and now we're going to have a look at fitting an upgraded battery. So let's now take it off and take it into the workshop and see what we can do about the batteries. And there's a bit better picture of the bike. Sadly, I'm not currently able to ride it due to health reasons, but I did used to love cycling. Now I'm looking forward to getting back to it at some point, hopefully. So I have been doing this bike up, and got the little lights there and the little radio that we're going to work on in this video. So let's get in now and have a look at the radio. Okay, so the battery that's inside the unit is rated at 500 milliamp hours, and that measured at 492, which is very, very good. But I have now found these batteries which are rated at 3,800 milliamp hours. Now I suspect they're not anywhere near 3,800, but if they are more than 500, there will be an upgrade for the radio. And you can search for these on eBay. As you see there, 14500 Li-on battery. Search for that and see what comes up. I found these, and there was a pack of 2, and so I've got one already in the tester, and that's only just started, so it is now charging. And when that gets to 4.2 volts, then it will start doing a discharge test, and I set it to run 3 times, so we will know then the capacity of these batteries. So we won't sit here and watch it because it will take forever in a day, or at least a few hours, so I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so that was a bit of a bust. The 3000 milliamp hour cell turned out to be only 497 milliamp hours, and the one that's in the radio already measures 492, so swapping for this cell would give you probably 10 seconds more use, maybe. Okay, so maybe that cell's bad. What I'll do now is I'll hook up this cell, this other one, and again, this is supposed to be 3,800 milliamp hours, but I'm guessing this one's going to be about the same. So let's come back when this one's charged. So the second battery now has finished charging, its test rather, and it is at 513 milliamp hours. So yes, that is more than 492, the one that's in there now. But putting this cell in really wouldn't make any difference. This is labelled as 3,800. I expected maybe it would be like 1,000 or even just like 800. But this is 500 milliamps, 500 milliamp hours. So this is basically the same as the one that's in there. So there's no point wasting my time putting this cell in, because it's not going to last any longer than the one that's in there. I mean, maybe 30 seconds more, perhaps, if but no, I mean, that's... So this video is going to be delayed while I order some different 14500s. So I have now found some more 14500s, and this is not going to focus, but these are rated at 1250 milliamp hours, and these are vape cell F12 branded, and I have got one on test there, as we can see. And the leaflet that come with these, got this leaflet that come with them, and it says here, oh come on, focus. Our battery ratings are based on the manufacturer's data sheets and our own in-house testing process. To ensure accuracy, we test each batch as they arrive in the UK before we place them on sale. So that leads me to believe that these probably are 1250 milliamp hours. And if they are, that is more than double of what's in the radio at the moment. So that should be very good. Now, I contacted the seller of these 3800 milliamp hour ones, which again is not going to focus. Yep, so I contacted the seller of these, and they say that they didn't know. They were told by their supplier that they were 3800. It said 3800 on them, so that's what they thought they were. Obviously, if I thought the seller was deliberately selling them, overrated, I would focus again. I would name and shame. But obviously, you have to give the seller the benefit of the doubt once, and so hopefully, that seller will not keep on selling them as what they're not. But the seller of these were like amp cell or something. Let's see. Yeah, amps plus. Where are we? Focus then. Oh God, this is useless at focusing. Try that again. Focus. God, it's fucking useless. Focus. Right. Okay, so there you can see, or you can't see because it didn't focus in properly. Amps Plus UK is their Facebook. I'm not going to give out their email or their phone number, which is here, because obviously I don't really want to advertise on this channel, and this is not a sponsored video. But if these are as rated, if they are sort of 1250 milliamp hours, then the seller does need to be commended. And they certainly seem at the moment to be doing okay. So I'll come back when this one's finished testing, and we'll put the other one on the charge, and we'll see if they are actually 1250. Fingers crossed, guys. Join me in a bit. Okay, so that has ended now, and it's coming up as 1098, which is very good. I mean, it's rated at 1200. Obviously, with my little janky, I mean, this is not the best connections and everything here. So, a reading of 1098, that is very, very good. And so I'm saying that is perfect. So, that will give us double of what we've got in there at the moment and a little bit more. So, if it lasts for like 3 hours already, this should make it last for 6 hours. Obviously, that hasn't been tested yet. I will have to test it, see how long it lasts for. So what I will do now is I will put this other one on charge and just confirm that it is the same 1250. And yeah, so that's looking good. Okay, so the other one has been tested and it's came up as 1129. So that is very good. So let me now stick this in the tripod and we'll get to it. Let's just unwrap this cell to confirm it is the same cell. Yep, the 1250 milliamp hours vape cell F12. So that's the one we're going to be putting in the radio. And although saying that, I did do a runtime test on this with the original battery. I connected this to my TV, and the original battery that's in there lasted well over 8 hours. So really a battery upgrade isn't needed. But I suppose if you've got one of these that's the battery's worn out perhaps, and you may want to replace the battery. So I will replace the battery in this one. But really, unless you're going to be doing like marathon cycles and cycling for more than 8 hours at a time, which I certainly am not. I mean, I can't even ride the bike at all at the minute due to health concerns, but I did used to love cycling and hopefully I can get back to it at some point. And I would want a nice radio while I'm riding around. But certainly I wouldn't be riding for anywhere near 8 hours. So genuinely, I wouldn't bother replacing the battery in this because 8 hours, okay, so maybe you're pounding out like bass hunter or something, really pounding bassy music, then it's obviously not going to last for the 8 hours. It may last only 6. But then again, I mean, what's most people going to do? Like half an hour ride to work or something, or is to ride out for fun, maybe, go out for an hour on the bike, and, this is fine. But still, let's get it open and look at replacing the battery. Okay, so I expected this to come off a lot easier this time, and it didn't. It still took a bit of an effort to get that off. But okay, so let's get it open now. I'll pause this because we've already seen how I opened it in the last video. Okay, so there it is taken apart, and hopefully you can't hear the fan noise. I've actually got 2 fans running here at the minute because the temperature is like 33 degrees here at the moment in this little conservatory. So there is the battery. A little bit of heat comes on the ends, keeping it stuck in. Pull that out, and so there's the battery. It looks like it does have a protection board built in, so we'll try and keep that. Move that out of the way. Let's now open this up. Okay, so at first glance that doesn't seem to be a protection board. But if you look under there, you see that little chip? So that is actually a protection board, sort of overcharge protection or what have you. And you can see these zinc strip sort of spot welded onto the end of the battery there. So what I'm going to try and do is try and peel that off if I can, just like that. Still a bit stuck on there. Okay, so that's going to be how we do it, and then just pull it off this end. Excellent. So we're now going to use that and those strips to connect the fresh cell, the new cell. What we'll be doing is I will actually be soldering onto this cell. Now, a lot of people will tell you you mustn't solder or you shouldn't solder onto lithium batteries. It's very, very dangerous and they'll explode and everything like that. But it's not if you do it properly, and I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so I got the cell or the battery here in a little vise. First thing I'm going to do is rough up the surface a little bit. Don't want to squeeze the cell too tight, and obviously, so that's okay. That's nice. Then I'm going to give it a bit of flux on top. That's nice. And now I want to solder it. Now the thing is, if I just use my regular small soldering iron, this one here, chances are it won't do it properly because I'll have to put so much. You see, with it being such a small soldering iron, yes, it melts the solder, but it won't stick to the top, you see. It won't stick to the cell, and for me to get this to stick, I would have to hold that on there a very, very long time, and that would transfer a lot of heat into the battery, and that's what we don't want to do. So what we have to do then is use a soldering iron with a larger thermal mass. Now, I have got this huge soldering iron. This is a 100-watt Draper soldering iron, which I've just now turned on to warm up. Now this is exactly the same temperature as the small one. It gets to exactly the same temperature. As you can see, it's got a very large thermal mass. So when I put this to the top of that, it will transfer its heat very quickly, and we'll be able to very quickly get some solder on there without transferring a lot of heat through to the battery. So let me just tidy this up again now, and that's nice. Obviously got to wait for the big iron to warm up, and of course it does take a time to warm up, being as it's got such a big thermal mass. That's okay. I'm just going to put a bit of extra flux on here, and I am using liquid flux. I know a lot of people on YouTube do use like a gel flux, and either or is acceptable. Flux is flux nonetheless, but this happened to be what I got, so that's what I'm using. And so, okay, I'll come back when that big iron is warmed up. Okay, so I had to restart the test on this because I realized I'd connected the terminals before the actual protection circuit. So I reconnected it to the actual connection wires and run it into the tester, and I've tested it now and it's coming up as where are we? Can you see that? Yep, 1016. So that is very good. And so what we're going to do now is take it off the tester and you plug it into the radio and check that it's all working. Right, that's in, and which is the start button? This one. Yep, well that certainly came on. I don't know. Okay, yeah, we'll turn that off for copyright reasons. So that's looking very good. It is, whoops, doing okay. So I just need to wrap a bit of tape around this protection board now, just to make that a bit nicer. If I could find the tape, which I can, it's right here. Whoops. Hello. Yoink. Come on. Okay. Right, so here we are. Just want to wrap around that, pull it a bit tight, and wrap around. Of course, in the ideal world, I would have had some heat shrink tubing the right size, and that would have made it a lot better, but that's okay. That can now wedge in there, and it's all looking pretty good. Oh, bit of stray heat gun glue there. Come on. Right. Now we can send it back together. Come on. Something like that. Come on. Okay, well that took a bit longer to align than it should have done, but now we got some ready for some screws to go in. That's good. Okay, so now the last one. Oop, this is that one. Come on. That was on here. Come on. Right. And so there we go. Now we just need to put the cover back on. That's it. So it's now had the antenna modification, and now it's had an upgraded battery. So it should now last twice as long as it did before. And when I tested this, it lasted over 8 hours before. So this should now give me 16 hours of use, hopefully. Bluetooth mode, radio mode.
The team say it's a special way to mark their 25th anniversary. Weather. With Park Team Resorts. Enjoy together time. Choose from 66 locations. Well, it's set to get even warmer from tomorrow here in Cornwall, with sunshine through to the weekend. From Global's Newsroom, you're up to date. This is hot.
Okay. So that there is working very well. Super. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers for now.